Coach's Corner this week, we are pleased to be joined by the girls head basketball coach of the Spring Valley Timberwolves, head coach Bo Miller. Coach, welcome to the program.
Well, thanks for having me.
So, Coach, let's kind of start our way up and work our way down. Looking back on last year, obviously a magical season in a lot of different ways. You guys won a state title with a very, very talented group, but just managing expectations of trying to repeat. How do you do that? But we'll also talk about playing in Class AAA here in a second.
Well, last year was a special team. It was a special group. It was, 5 girls that was their goal when they got here. Was they played year round, and I kind of knew that was going to happen last year. I figured if we didn't do it last year, that we may never do it. But coming back this year, we lost 3 seniors, which started. Then we also lost 3 juniors who decided not to come out this year, and so we were kind of depleted. We came back with basically 2 girls with any experience, and Brooklyn and Sophie, and we're trying to put a lot early on their shoulders, and it was a struggle early for us. But I think we've all grown and matured. Some of our younger players have been stepping up, playing really good lately. I think overall we're peaking maybe at the right time.
In regards to now playing down in classification, you guys competed in 4A last year when you guys beat Morgantown. Now you guys are playing in AAA. We'll talk about it furthermore. But just how have you guys adjusted to that at all? Has it affected you all? Kind of walk us through how that's been going, moving from 4A down to 3A.
Well, it really has affected us this year. We've only played 2 AAA teams, I believe, St. Albans and Nitro. We already had our schedule made when we decided to do this. And so we didn't have a chance to pick up any of the AAA teams in our area. I know there's some good AAA teams out there. We're just looking forward to getting in the tournament and see how it goes.
So, Coach, you mentioned how you have a mixture of players that have stepped up this season that have complemented both Brooklyn and Sophie, who are your 2 experienced players that have returned. Talk about these younger players and who stepped up, especially now as we've entered these last couple of games in the regular season.
Well, we start off with Emma Edwards. She played behind Allie last year, so she got very limited playing time. She's a 6'1" post player that's really athletic, run the court. She averages a double in rebounds, like about 10 or 11 a game, and she's just getting better every time she plays. And then Lucy Jackson, who started a little bit last year at the beginning of the year when Drea was out. When she plays well, we play well. I mean, she's the most athletic girl we've probably ever had here. She high jumps and she runs track and she can do it all, but when she plays good, we play good. And then we start a freshman, Bella Purdue. She struggled at starting out she's a freshman, so it took her a little time to get adjusted to the speed of the game and stuff. She's probably had her best games here the last 2 or 3 games. So I think we're going in the right direction.
In regards to your senior leadership with both Brooklyn and Sophie, how have they kind of taken those reins after having a very experienced and veteran team last season?
Well, Sophie is the leader. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So when Sophie's on the court, everybody knows she's the leader, vocally, athletic. She does it. Brooklyn's kind of the quiet, behind-the-scenes leader. She does by example. They're both really great kids, and they're great leaders. Sophie's, she leads every night, and when she deals the ball out and assists and scoring, she's the best player in the state.
When you talk about this group and in the second half of the season, what do you think's been working well for you guys following that slow start as you alluded to early on in this conversation?
Well, earlier in the year, I thought rebounding was really, really bad because, for 4 years, Allie Daniels got every rebound. This year, we had to find somebody to get rebounds. We got beat on the boards early a lot, and it cost us a lot of games early because second and third chances, you miss a shot, they miss a shot, they go get it, and you're going to usually foul them. We get in foul trouble. But we've been emphasizing rebounding and getting the ball out a lot here in the last month or so, and I think we're really, really focusing on that, really making us better.
In regards to now playing with a target on your back, obviously you guys want to say title in 4A, but now you still have that target on your back just in a different class. How do you go about managing that, and what's your message to your girls when you do have a target on your back like that?
Well, we knew coming in that we would get everybody's best shot this year, and it's like, we like to say they're Super Bowling it for us every night. So we're used to getting everybody's best shot, and we just have to play at the level that, we're state champion level.
What do you think the ceiling is? Because obviously the easy answer is state championship caliber team, but also at the same time, you look at this field in Class AAA, it's a very competitive field, both boys and girls, but on the girls' side, what's this team going to have to take to kind of make their way up and wiggle their way into playing on Championship Saturday?
Well, I think 3A right now is probably the most even division out of all of them. We got, Greenbrier's really good, Nitro's really good, John Marshall's good, East Fairmont's good, Keyser's good. They're all really good teams, and that's probably be the teams that make it to Charleston. So you just have to be playing your best when you get to Charleston. You have to, there's no way to scout them all, but you have to at least look over who you're going to play in the next week or two to get ready for them.
We were talking with Coach John Frisbee from Riverside just a couple of weeks ago about this MSAC field. Obviously, teams like yourself, GW, Huntington this season, Campbell Midland's been playing really good basketball as well. This group collectively in the MSAC, what stands out to you, and how have you guys been able to rise to the occasion? Because also you got Parkersburg in that mix that's also been playing really good basketball.
Well, we're just trying to play good basketball. I know the top half of the MSAC is really good. Midland's coming on. They're good. Huntington is a really sleeper in 4A. Of course, GW is the favorite probably right now. And then Parkersburg just knocked them off. We played Parkersburg last week. They are hot right now. They played us. They beat us, GW, and they beat Huntington last night. So they're on a roll.
Going back to that Parkersburg game, you guys played that game at West Virginia State in the Country Road Shootout. What do you take away from that game? Because, again, that's a team that's going to be able to compete for a state title. You guys are still trying to figure out playing your best basketball down the stretch. But what's your biggest takeaway when you look back at that game against their Big Reds?
They shoot the ball really well. And that day they shot the ball really well. And apparently last night they shot the ball really well. So we didn't match them shooting-wise that night, and it just got out of hand on us in the second quarter. And they kept playing good basketball. We couldn't catch up.
When you look at this team, what stands out to you? Like, if you had to say what's the theme of this team, what would you consider being the theme or the collective common goal or common we'll call it theme in essence.
Well, you don't want to say as Sophie goes, we go,
right.
But it's kind of as Sophie goes, we go. And then rebounding is the key right now for us. If we rebound well, we win games. When we don't rebound, we lose. It comes down to rebounding. That gets us in transition and gets our easy baskets, and that's when we're a lot better.
When you talk about that rebounding side of things, whenever you guys were trying to fix that, was that something that you guys saw during practice or film, or was that something in game that you had to adjust on the fly? We
picked up on it early in the season in games, and then we started working on it every day in practice, and we've been working on it every day. And then we try to stress it every day a little bit, do some sort of rebounding, and in the games, that's all we talk about.
We'll spend a little bit of time on Sophie because obviously that's a name that a lot of people know in the state, and many consider her being one of the top players in consideration for the Mario Award, which is given to the girls, to the top girls state basketball player in West Virginia. But give the case for why you think Sophie Hutchinson should be considered for the State Player of the Year in West Virginia.
She does everything well. She scores. She averaged 22 a game. She leads the team in assists, like 8 or 9. Steals, she's like right around 7. In a tournament we played down in Tennessee, she broke a 30-year-old record for steals in a tournament. So she is a phenomenal player. The only thing I think is going to hurt her in the voting is we don't have much representation down in this end anymore with no sports writers. All the sports writers are either north or down the play sheets and all that. So that's probably going to hurt her some.
When you talk about her game, how do you think her game has evolved from where she was as a young player whenever you guys first got her to where she is now in her final season at Spring Valley?
When we first got her, her whole game was about scoring. She came from a place where that's all she had. That's what she was supposed to do. She was supposed to just score. And she didn't really trust anybody else. Now she's got the players around her. She trusts them. She facilitates a lot better than she ever did. And that makes us a lot better when she does that.
Whenever you talk about the facilitation side of things with her, does that kind of open things up for a Brooklyn Ellis or a Lucy Jackson or an Edwards as well? Whenever she does facilitate and she does attract so many defenders, you can kind of elevate the other players' games around her as well.
Yes, when she gets everybody involved, that's when we play our best. The other night against Midland, she started out going to the rim, and they finally started cutting that off. And next thing you know, she's kicking out to Brooklyn. Brooklyn hit a couple of threes, and then she threw it over to Emma a few times. Emma had some easy buckets. It just makes everybody else around her so much better.
In regards to Brooklyn, obviously this is a girl that can shoot the ball, can just shoot the lights out, quite frankly. In regards to her game, how has her game kind of morphed outside of just being a spot-up shooter?
Well, she takes the ball to the basket a lot more than she did, and we rely on her a lot more. In the past, she's usually the third or fourth, fifth option sometimes. And for years, she just scored a lot of points because no, everybody was guarding everybody else. But this year, she's become a focal point of the defense, so she's had to put the ball on the floor, go to the basket, and she's even got a few assists this year.
Who's been a player in your mind that's made that leap in their game that has definitely caught your eye from whether it be early in the season or in the off season to where we are now with just a couple weeks left in the regular season? Who's been someone that's extended their game and expanded it as well?
Either Emma Edwards or Lucy Jackson. Both have gotten so much better as the seasons went on. Emma's a great volleyball player. She spends a lot of time playing volleyball. So when we get her in November, she's kind of raw. So we have to start over, and she's getting better and better every game and every day. And then Lucy, we relied on Lucy usually as our defensive stopper last year, but she has had to pick up her offense this year. She's probably our third option this year in scoring.
When you do have a couple of girls that do play multiple sports, does that kind of allow you guys to do a couple of things differently, both offensively and defensively, whenever you do have some girls that are very athletic compared to others?
Well, athletically, I think those girls coming from those other sports are really athletic. Both of them can do a lot of things, and I think it really helps us more on the defensive end, where we can run and trap and get out and pressure the ball a lot more. In your opinion, do you think athletes, whether it be boys or girls, should be playing multiple sports at the high school level? Oh yeah, play them all. You only go through high school once. You're not going to get out of high school and go back and be playing sports. You might as well take advantage of it now. I think play as many as you want.
In regards to moving forward now, obviously you want your best players to be playing their best basketball right now, but give me something in your mind that you guys still do need to work on. You mentioned the rebounding aspect and how far that's come along, but what's something else that you're feeling where you wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, let's continue to harp on this with just a few games left?
Well, consistency in our shooting, consistency in our three-point shooting. There'll be some games we'll shoot 60, 70% from the three, and then we go up there and play Parkersburg. We shot 24%, so we got to get more consistent in three-point shooting.
In regards to playing in Charleston, obviously the big stage can give the best out of people or the worst out of people. You guys got the best out of it last year, but just how do you go about, if you were to go to Charleston, or you do have a message for teams that do make it to Charleston, managing that depth perception and also just that much larger court compared to a traditional high school court?
You just have to go up there and play your game. I mean, there's no getting ready for playing in that atmosphere. That facility is just huge to shoot in. But our girls adapted well last year. We played in some big arenas. Play at State. We played at Boyd County. We played down in Tennessee. There's some big arenas, and that might help. But you just got to play your game.
When you do play a team that kind of has like that look in their eye that maybe the stage is a little bit too big, do you kind of exploit that early on by maybe throwing some pressure out and filling in those gaps? That way that can eliminate anything that an opposing team's wanting to do?
Well, you want to try to jump. If you see fear at least a little, you don't want to jump on as quick as you can. And we try to turn up the pressure as soon as we see it.
When you talk about just yourself as a coach, you've been coaching here for a number of years now, but what's this been like for you with this group to just continue along your coaching journey here at Spring Valley, especially with this group of girls you had this year?
I've had a lot of good groups. This is a great group also. They all get along. They all come to practice ready to play. They all have fun hanging around each other. It's just a good group of girls.
When you look at just last year's group, do you kind of go back and kind of pull like the parent thing? I know my parents used to do is like, so-and-so doesn't do this, or we used to not do this when, like as the parents would say, back in our day or whatever. Do you kind of use it saying, last year we didn't do this, let's try and fix it? Do you kind of recall and use last year as an example as much as possible?
I try not to compare teams, I try not to say, Allie would have got that, but I try not to do that, but sometimes it might slip in there. I just try to focus on this year's team, and each year it's different.
Do you feel you're a lot calmer now in your veteran years compared to when you first started?
Oh my God. Calmer, that's where... Two of my assistants both played for me a long time ago. They said I'm so much easier now than I was when they played.
Do you ever have to kind of like crack out like the old school Coach Miller and just like say certain things or do certain things?
Well, there's a couple days this year when we didn't play well, and we might have not got the balls out early. So
that just means a lot of running then.
There was times when I was younger we never got the balls out for 2 hours. So I cut that out.
When you talk about just coaching at Spring Valley, obviously this is a school with a lot of tradition, a lot of pride as well in this school, whether it be football, boys and girls basketball, the winter sports, the fall sports, whatever it may be. What's this mean for you to coach at a place with so much pride like Spring Valley? Well,
it comes from 3 really great communities. CK, Vincent, and Buffalo all were great sports communities, and I grew up in the Vincent community, and it just carried over out to here at Spring Valley. It took a little bit, but it's carried over. It's a great sports community. They really back us in every sport we have out here. So it just feels great to coach out here.
A couple more for you. Let's kind of step away from coaching here. Let's talk more of what's been going on over these last couple of years in the landscape of high school athletics. I asked Coach Frisbee this a couple weeks ago. I'm curious with your answer. If you look at the landscape of high school athletics, what's something in your mind that needs to be addressed further or just needs to be changed completely?
Well, I don't want to get on a soapbox or anything, but
no, go ahead.
Are we big enough state to have 4 classes? I mean, seriously, in basketball, do we need 4 classes? I know they say it's for football disparity, but basketball, 2 would probably be the max I would use in basketball. I mean, I think 4 classes is just too many.
Why do you think that is?
Well, we only got 100 schools, maybe 100,
yeah.
120 maybe play basketball, 90 some play football. Well, I don't think we need 4 classes.
When you talk about this, that along with it, do you think a lot of that too is driven by how communities are fluctuating so much in regards to population, which even more so dwindles down to this enrollment that goes on in schools, or how much of that too is just this transfer rule as well?
Well, I think at most attribute to the West Virginia as a state just losing population left, I mean, by the hundreds every year. And here's no different. We started out this school when it opened, probably had 1,300 kids, and it's down below 900 now in just 20 years. That's a lot of loss. And I know the other schools in our county are the same, and I know around the state it's the same, except probably over in the Panhandle where Martinsburg and them are. But I think that's attributed to a lot of just population decline. And then the transfer rule, I don't have a problem with the transfer rule. I mean, kids go where you want to go. I mean, if you're not happy, go somewhere else.
So kind of going along the lines of what you just said too at the beginning of that statement, what kept you around, or what has kept you around being able to continue to give back in this community, continue to give back to young people?
Well, the competition is great. I love being around the kids. Keeps you young, I guess, you know. So I like competition. I love coaching, and doesn't matter football or basketball, just competition. Yeah,
you mentioned the football side of things. You do coach during the fall with Coach Brad Dingus. What's that like for you, being able to coach alongside of him, and how's that kind of evolved over the years?
Oh, it's great. We have a great relationship. I started when Dingus first started. I was on a staff. I've been here the whole time. It's been great.
Do you kind of get a little bit of football into your basketball mode, a little bit of basketball in your football mode, a little bit when you coach? Or?
Well, towards the end of football this year, we were making a run in the playoffs. We made it to the semis. I had to leave basketball on the back burner a little bit, and I probably scheduled some games too early, and it probably hurt us a little bit then.
So then one more with you about football. So whenever that does happen, how do you go about communicating to your girls that, we're still going to compete and all this stuff, but you're also here doing football as well? How do you kind of balance those two sports?
Well, I have great assistants for one thing. Whitney Chandler, Emily Butcher, and Jimmy Parker. They all helped me tremendously during that time. Like in the off-season workouts, they'll come and work them out a couple days a week. And then when practice actually starts, I go to football practice till like 6 o'clock. Then I come here for basketball for an hour and a half. So it kind of works out.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. Thank you, and good luck as you guys try and make another push for Charleston here in the next couple of weeks.
Well, I hope to see you up there.
Absolutely. That's the girls' head basketball coach of the Spring Valley Timberwolves, head coach Bo Miller. Be sure to check out our coverage from now until the end of the Boys State basketball tournament in Charleston by going to our website, wvgazettemail.com. Follow us on Twitter at GazMail Sports. That's G-A-Z Mail Sports. And be sure to follow us on Facebook at HD Media Sports.